All right, we're going to take a look at how to tie the element Purcell. It's a little bit different than your typical Purcell Prusiks in that we do it with the old school dog and tail, so it absorbs energy. A lot of times we use it primarily probably for passing knotwits in the system, so once it takes that load on a load transfer, we can then reload that system without using any other devices, so it eases up a lot of those techniques. This is 16 feet of a 6mm Prusik. You'll notice that we use it typically with Technora. The reason we use Technora is it's going to be holding under friction, and then we're going to be releasing that load under tension. So because of that, to keep things from melting or glazing, we typically will choose a cord that has Technora, which is a more heat-resistant fiber in there. We start off with the 16 feet. You're going to go through and you're going to measure from the two tails that we combine there when we have it doubled. You're going to measure in 32 inches. Once you have that 32 inches, and what we typically have done is just mark that here. So we have these lines that we have marked, keep those even, and we choose to tie a figure 9. A figure 9 is going to be tied just like a figure 8, but with an extra wrap. So that's usually at the head of that knot. So from there, we're going to go around. This would be a figure 8. We go around one more half time, and then we send those ends right through. We tighten that up really tight, bring that down, and then this is going to create basically the crotch for how we create that Prusik. What we suggest doing is just using a non-locker or a locking carabiner, it doesn't matter, putting that around and having it in this configuration. I have the knot in the rear side and the rest of the loop coming into the front. At this point, we're going to do a dog and tails, also sometimes called a French Prusik, where when this takes over, we're going to have one come down. So in this case, I have my right side going down first and my left side locking it down. With the left side, we're going to switch it for the back. So the left is going to go around first, then the right is going to lock that down. So when you're looking at it, it's always going to be the same format with the right coming down, the left locking it. So we're going to alternate that. Each one of these, and we're going to call these nodes, we want to try and get 5 nodes in there, and that's where we've tested this out. And we'll put those onto this video towards the end. So we're going to try and get 5 nodes. So if you're looking here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be our 5th, and we're going to wrap that around the back. Now it's probably easier keeping this under tension and that carabiner, although you can take it off and do it, but we're going to make that last bite really, really tight. Bring those 2 ends just kind of right in front of here. At this point, we're going to do a double, it's a double T technique for doing it, but it's basically the same knot you use when you're tying a double or triple fisherman's, when you're tying a Prusik into a loop, but we're going to do it all in the same direction. So we're going to start with this top one here, and all we're going to do is bring that down, and we're going to cross it. Once we cross it, it continues around, and it's going to go under both of these lines. So under that cross, the tail goes, and if you're tying it in the configuration that we have, that tail is just going to go straight down. So that's our first one. What we want to make sure that we do is really crank that down and keep that tight. You can finish this in a square knot, which we used to do. The problem with that is this never really sees that much tension at all because all your weight is distributed through these nodes. So you'll end up having these things will untie, and you'll have to put shoe glue and all these other things or extra tape to keep it together. This just holds it really nice the whole time. So on our last one, we're looking, and because we went down on that one, we're going to go up on this one. So this is going to go here. We're going to do the same knot. That's going to cross. And then this is going to go under those 2 lines. So just very similar to how you do your Prusiks when they're opposing. Once that comes down, we're going to tighten that up, clean it. And that's it. We'll show some videos on how to use it, but to get it in its position, this is in its completely lengthened position. Whenever we're using this, we typically always have it in what's called its loaded position, which is in its shortest configuration. And we'll finish that sometimes and just have a screw link connected to that so this doesn't run off the end. And that is the element Purcell.